Hey guys! I'm here today with my best and worst read for 2013. Yay! So I have a list of 5 books that I really loved reading this year, last year, and 2 books that I hated. Yeah, hate is a strong word, but I really did hate these books. Don't even want to call them books really. So yeah, let's get started. Um, at number 5, I picked a middle grade book and a known author, and it's The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. I read this before summer, I believe. It was a Swedish edition from the library, with another illustrator as well, and I loved it so much. And we're supposed to read this for my summer course as well. And I saw this edition on a website, so I ordered it. I didn't actually reread it for the summer course because I remembered most of it. But I love this edition, and the book is really, really good. It's about this boy called Nobody. He sort of, he escapes his family getting murdered. He is a tiny baby, kind of crawling from his home to this graveyard where he sees 2 ghosts. That's married, and this creature, I was thinking maybe he's like some kind of vampire-ish. You really don't get to know, but his name is Silas, and yeah, he's a good character, and he enables Nobody to be able to live at the cemetery and actually seeing all the ghosts who are buried there, so he can stay there, and as long as he keeps in the graveyard place, he's safe from the murderer. And along the way in this book, you get to see Nobody growing up and getting friends and kind of an education, sort of. Getting into adventures, meeting this really fun witch, who doesn't have a marked grave even. That's my favorite illustration, because there's illustrations in here, and these are not the ones I had in the one I read, so I haven't looked at all these yet. But I love the illustration of the witch in the other edition. It's beautiful. I love that artist. So yeah, this is kind of adventurous and fun, and it's around 300 pages, but it's a really quick read, and it's funny and thrilling, and yeah, but it's a middle grade, but I think adults will get a lot from this as well. I did. So it's not really a kiddish book, I wouldn't say. But yeah, I feel like you kind of gothic, ghostly stories, mysteries, you should definitely read this one. And I also want to show you, just show you, because I also bought this book in the same time. They're both Harper Perennial, and I haven't seen these anymore, and no other books in this edition either, and I love them. They're so gorgeous. And I read Coraline as well, and it's equally good to Graveyard Book. I'd say it's much shorter, and the movie's great, but yeah, I picked this one for this list. Coming in on number 4, we have a Swedish book. It's a Swedish magic realism YA, sort of, called Kaninhjärta by Kristin Ljungqvist. Kaninhjärta translates sort of like rabbit heart, and I can't remember now where that comes from. I think it's about 2 twins, and they're called Mary and Anne, and their mother calls them Mary Ann, And one, I think Mary calls Anne Rabbit Heart because she thinks Anne is a scaredy cat, sort of. And it's a gothic, sort of realistic mystery story. These two girls sort of gets a hold of their dad's apartment in the big city because their parents are divorced, and they live there during the summer because they know their dad's not gonna be home. And Mary's sort of a partying girl. She meets a lot of boys and stuff, and they end up meeting this woman, and she's like a medium, and they get involved in this mystery story outside of town. And yeah, they help out because the girls have sort of psychic abilities. They can talk and bring ghosts for other ones to see, I guess. And it's really thrilling and exciting, and it's like nothing else I've ever read. And it's kind of what's the word? Not like every other YA book. It's Anne likes girls, and she's yeah. It's more depth, I'd say, than other YA. The characters are very nicely put out, and yeah, it's a really good book. And this came out 2012, I believe, and I read this summer. And her second book came out 2013, and I read that one a month later than this. And it's like a companion story to this, and that one was also really good, but I don't own it, so I couldn't show it to you. But yeah, I'm sorry this is not available in English, but if you're Scandinavian, you should definitely check this out. So number 3 is a really good book that's very popular on BookTube and book blogs and things, and I think that's a good thing because it's a really good book. And this is also middle grade. I think it's about a 13-year-old boy called Connor, and it's Patrick Ness book, A Monster Calls. I have the hardcover, and it's gorgeous. It's seriously silver text, and the illustrations are amazing. I have a ton of stickers here, and the inside is equally gorgeous. Look at this print here, and also the hardcover is amazing. This is even more pretty, I almost think, with the moon and the yew tree. I think it's a yew tree. I read this just after summer, and I think I read it in 2 sittings. And it's about Connor, and it's sort of about coming over the fear of loss, because he's dealing with some crap a 13-year-old boy probably shouldn't be having to deal with. And I can relate, because my mother got sick when I was 14, when I was 13 actually. So this was a very emotional read for me, and I think it was for everyone else who has read it too. And it's very nicely told in a beautiful language, and it definitely made me want to check out more of his books. I don't know which one to start with, because I have heard his series is really good. The Knife of Never Letting Go, I think, is Patrick Ness, and I also heard of a new book he released last year with like a yellow thingy. I can't remember the name, but this is really, really nice and beautiful illustrations in here. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Here's one. And this is a monster who's calling for Connor in his dreams. and it's actually a tree, but I'd say he's more of a feeling inside of Connor, um, in his subconscious. Yeah, whatever. So yeah, that was number 3 on my list. Number 2 is a book that I didn't expect to even read. It was on my summer course reading list. I thought, nah, that doesn't sound like something for me. I don't know why, but so I looked up the BBC TV movie and watched that, and I was like, I need to get that book. I need to read it. So I got it at the library in Swedish and read it and loved it. And then coming back from summer break, I bought my own copy, and it's the Turn of the Screw by Henry James. It's a classic. It's a gothic ghost story, and it's wonderful. It's amazing. It's very well written, very well told. You hear it from a man who's describing someone else reading a letter, and it's about a woman in her early 20s being a governess to these 2 kids in a mansion, sort of, and things start to happen. And Henry James is. I like it when you don't know if the story is told with truth. Like, you could actually, something else could have been happening here. The ending is quite open, but not. Yeah, it's a real mystery, but it's very well done. It was really nice. It was a really nice read. I loved reading it, and I loved the book, and I will definitely reread this. Probably this year, because it's not very long. It's like 150, and it's one of my favorite classics. It's one of my favorite ghost stories. Definitely pick this up if you haven't read it, if that's the sort of stories you like. So yeah, love this book. The only reason why that one wasn't the number 1 is because quite recently I read a really, really, really good book by a really, really good author who is my favorite author, in my top 10 favorite authors ever by now. And it's a book that I read in November, I think. And it's We Have Always Lived in a Castle by Shirley Jackson, and this is just so good, and this edition is so pretty. Oh, I love the cat and the illustration and this penguin and its deckled edges. And this book is not long either. It's 146 pages, this edition. And yeah, it's about 2 girls, 2 sisters, living in their family home, and they're outcast from the village that they live in. Mary Catherine is the younger sister. She's 18. She's the one going into town. But she gets bullied when she goes there because a rumor spreading and just storytelling about these 2 girls. The older sister is Constance, and they have their uncle in a wheelchair as well. And the rumor says Constance poisoned her family at dinner one dinner. So it's kind of an intriguing story, and it's told very well. You don't get to know everything in the beginning. It's like it's slowly building up, and it's very mysterious, and it's fun to read, and you get intrigued, and you want to keep reading. You want to get to know these people, and why they're outcasts, and why people don't like them, and if the rumors are true, if things even happened, like people are saying and if it will ever turn around. So this is a very nice read. It's short and I miss the environment and I miss the people and I really wished I could stay longer in this book because this was amazing. I really do love this and I actually just ordered another Shirley Jackson book because I need to read all her work. This is amazing. This is seriously amazing. So yeah, those were my favorite reads this last year. And my least favorite reads are two books. I can't really understand why people like them. Um, yeah, two books. Number two, I'd say, is Crank by Ellen Hopkins. This book, I feel like it's kind of popular and I think I know why, and I think it's only because it's written in verse. I think all her books are written in verse, and that's the only thing that actually excited me. But when I borrowed it at the library, and when I started reading it, I was like, what the fuck is this story? It's not a story. It's like a teenager just like a diary. I feel like it's not saying anything, no meaning at all. Didn't give me crap. I read half of it and turned it back to the library. I'm so freaking happy I didn't spend money on this shitty book because I seriously don't like it. If you do, please tell me why, because this just I wouldn't even have liked it like 5 years ago when I was a no 8 years ago I was a teenager sort of. But yeah, no, I think it's flat. It's poor story, poor characters. Not intriguing at all. Repetitive. I seriously think the execution is the only thing people actually like this book for, just because it's written in verse and very yeah, no. And the only book I read this year that was actually worse than that is a book that I actually read all of, and it's the book with the most pages that I read in 2013, and it's 50 Shades of Grey. And I don't even want to call it a book. I don't want to call it literature. It's just words on paper. It's not even words on paper. It's crap on paper. It didn't give me anything. It wasn't exciting. The characters are all flat, and I feel like the only reason she put in other characters than Anastasia and Grey is because she wanted it to be a book. There's no character building. There's only, I feel like everything that happened outside of the bedroom she put there just to get kind of a, I don't know, it's just don't read it. Don't read it. Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Thank you for watching. See you later.